Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So guys, got my coffee, got my makeup on, feeling like a real grown-up today. So guys, welcome to part 2 of resources for support workers, caregivers, guys, for continuing professional education. So got my coffee, guys, as well. So first thing I said, and I'm gonna say it till the cows come home, is grab pen and paper. That's the first thing you're going to need with any form of support work. So guys, I've seen support workers that are the best of the best, in my opinion. They've always got pen and paper in their go bag. They've also always got a change of clothes that's season appropriate, a pair of PJs, underwear that's appropriate, generally a pair of slippers if they're doing sleepovers. It might even be like those slides type of things, or a canvas pair of shoes. So they've always got a change of clothes, sleepwear, change of underwear, some basic toiletries, wet wipes, and some food, whether that be snacks or full esky as well. Because guys, unfortunately, unless you're at a data centre, you're eating with the clients. Breaks are unheard of as well. So that's why there's the rostering that there is as well. Next one, guys, have in your back pocket a community library card, so a council run library. Guys, I cannot say this enough. Books, TVs, movie, CDs, streaming, online learning, internet access, meeting rooms, clubs that your clients might like. I know my library does understanding social media classes. They do social media, privacy. They do smartphone education for seniors as well. So talk to your librarian about it. Next one, if you've got like a uni or TAFE in your area, check out what short courses or retreats they offer. Often there's free lectures that the community are invited to as well. Obviously stay away from the protests, but definitely have a look if they're live streamed, if they welcome the community, if their psychology department, psychiatry, medical, nursing do like weekend retreats or do lectures for inviting the community, do panels. Sometimes they do those as well. I know Dr. Jordan Peterson still speaks at unis, and one thing he says with unis and colleges when he's invited to speak, how he gets through the protesters that don't understand what he's saying, is he has them as a breakfast. People can't be asked enough to, if people can't be asked enough to get out of bed at before 8 o'clock in the morning to protest, well, you're not really motivated to protest what he's saying. Next one, guys, this is more skills that you need to have. Cooking. So I'll show you what to do. YouTube. Any of the cooking YouTubers do kitchen management, running a household, running a kitchen as well. Guys, and I mentioned in the previous video, but I'll mention here, CWA Country Kitchen. Day centres. Nothing wrong with holding a cooking program, having a budgeting program. Instead of like the craft and the walking and feeding the animals. Okay, job skills, study skills, technology. If the client is able to consent, or parents are able to consent to them, there's nothing stopping you guys doing a TikTok, YouTube, podcast. And it doesn't have to be disability. It could be news, current affairs. It could be politics. It could be just interviewing people on their special interests. It could be support workers' lives. Anything that will gather an audience as well. The next one, young support workers, please check in with your older support workers as well. So I know my support coordinator, she's talked over on the podcast about her journey to becoming a support coordinator. Guys, when she was doing respite, she would look at all the different conditions that were in there, and Google them. So this is where I'm saying this notebook, put in your resources, any words you don't know, any conditions you don't know, Google them. Wikipedia, people with disability Australia, Queenslanders with disabilities, bloggers, YouTubers, TikTokers, Rumble, absolutely amazing places for finding out about disabilities as well. But best place, your clients, talk to them. Biggest thing I've got to say for resources is there's so much out there, it's actually decoding what's worth it for you as well. Guys, some unis do community memberships as well. They're a bit more strict on deadlines, but community memberships, absolutely amazing. Also, I know for academic integrity, for some of you, like year longer courses in universities, some professors are saying no technology, like they're saying no typewriters, no phones, no laptops, because of distractions and academic integrity. But if you go to the Professor in Student Services, Disability Services, having notes or having a note taker is probably an appropriate use, but you need to be able to prove the person has done the work, that the support worker's not doing the work for them. Because I know in TAFE, during COVID, when they were doing kickbacks for support workers to get their clients to do a TAFE course, the support workers were doing the work, and how is that effective? So guys, some excellent online learning platforms. Alison, guys, and not sponsored, guys, Coursera, Open Colleges Australia, LinkedIn Learning, and I know Dr. Jordan Peterson is doing Peterson Academy as well, but some podcasts I'd really recommend is Dr. Jordan Peterson's podcast. Talks about personal responsibility, talks about disability, talks about the difference between a reason and an excuse. So you might have someone who's very clinically depressed, not responding to medication, but will respond to that kick up the arse, because sometimes being the support worker is actually about being a parent in the room as well. So finding mentors for people, it might be a guide leader, it might be a scout leader, it might be CWA, it might be a women's shed, it might be a men's shed, it might be a day or community centre. Not everyone fits into those categories. And then guys, Discord as well. Discord, Reddit and 4chan are interesting ones, unless they can really understand how to protect themselves and to protect their privacy. 4chan, no go. I would say no go. But Reddit and Discord, there is some lovely spaces on there. But I was watching an internet creator last night who was saying that the spaces that are advertised oftentimes aren't for disability, and disability safe aren't, unless they're like a day or community service run by support workers. So places that choose to be inclusive, and you might not fit in, it might not be wheelchair accessible, it might not be mobility aid accessible, they may not understand hidden disabilities, especially in the community base. It's no one's fault, but you've got to remember safe spaces are decided by the participants, not the people who are running them. So I'm going to say that louder for people in the back. Safe spaces are determined by the participants and the users, not the people running them. And that includes day centres as well. So guys, it might take you a couple of day centres to find the right one. It might take you years, but you might decide one-on-one's better for you. You might decide TAFE or another community organisation is the right fit for you as well. Then, guys, don't forget about TAFE for continuing education as well. So, your certificate in mental health, your mental health first aid, Red Frogs do situational awareness, personal safety, situational awareness that can be altered for disability. They also do alcohol related harm and harm minimisation as a general rule as well. So guys, gonna take a break there, and if you can like, share, subscribe, comment as well. Guys, let me have a sip of my coffee and let's get back into it. So the next one, particularly for younger support workers, is cooking and cleaning. I forgot cleaning, because cleaning is a huge one. So knowing how to use a mop properly, knowing how to use a vacuum cleaner, knowing how to change sheets, knowing how to dress someone are all huge one. And so guys, this is where your company's policies and procedures come into it. I know that's not a fun read, but definitely know them. So this was a question I posed over on TikTok, and it shows how prepared you are and how educated you are as a support worker. If you had 15 to 20 minutes to get 3 participants with different needs out of the house as an evacuation, and you knew you couldn't come back for 48 to 24 hours, do you know what each one of them needs and where it lives? So what is in their day bag, and I call it a day bag because it's not necessarily a handbag, it's a day bag. They take everything they need for the day at the day centre or whatever they're doing. It's a day bag. It's a tote. It might be a backpack. And this then comes back to the old chestnut of age appropriate. What's age appropriate? Is it their ABS mental adjusted age? Is it their physical age? Okay, would you let someone who has a mental age or like a mental adjusted age of 4 sit down and watch a horror movie? Probably wouldn't. But when they're picking out a backpack for going to the day centre and a lunchbox, if they want the latest Disney one and it works, guys, I know the House of Mouse with their employees, but guys, they've generally got really well made products. And guys, I've seen adults who are able-bodied, no neurodiversity, no cognitive difference, guys who are either in entertainment, off corporate world, or IT, who take the latest superhero bag from their latest trip to Movie World or Comic Con or Supernova into the office as well. So that's how a lot of people in the corporate world, in IT, in the working world who've had to go back to the office are expressing their personality. So why wouldn't the person with a disability who attends the day centre be the same as well? And then guys, nutrition. Guys, nutrition is such a tricky one because this goes into your scope of practice and dignity of risk for the client. It also comes into your feeding and behaviour management plans as well. So are they allowed caffeine? Are they allowed sugar? Are they allowed preservatives? Are all questions you need to ask, because some things are aggravated by that. Guys, people say that ADHD isn't aggravated by chemicals. There's actually a lot of research to come out to say about diet and ADHD and diet and autism as well. Guys, I will put that over on the blog. But I tripped over my cord while I was charging my laptop, so now it needs to go and have a trip to the repair shop. Shout out to the guys at the electronic workshop who are going to try and get it done today so I can have these out over the weekend as well. But guys, then your other resources are clients themselves. Talk clients about their journey, what they want, what they need as well. Dr. Jordan Peterson does some excellent YouTubes on communicating. It's different talking to someone versus communicating. So your active communication, your passive communication, your active listening skills, using a communication board, using an active AEC, so a adjusted communication device, using smartphones, using apps, And this is where your consent, dignity of risk management, privacy all come into play as well. So guys, I didn't realise there's such a market for continuing professional education for support workers, caregivers and nurses as well. And guys, some people that you need to be making friends with as well. Your local guide leader, your local scout leader, the local CWA ladies, your local community pharmacist, your local pharmacy tech, your local senior pharmacy assistant who's into the hair and the makeup and the grooming, because they can have the conversation as well about puberty, about periods, about grooming, that in a sensitive way. Not everyone's comfortable about talking about that, and I know some support workers are starting to work with children with a disability who parents don't have the skills to parent them, so they may be in out of home care, they may be in psychiatric facilities. Can I say, let's stop giving parents crap for deciding to put their children into residential care. They have made a decision that is heartbreaking and in the best interest of their family. We don't know the full circumstances. We don't know if Child Protection Services had to get involved. We don't know if the public trustee had to get involved. We don't know if the cops had to get involved. We don't know if they simply couldn't cope and that was the best place for them. So why I'm saying about these people to make friends with, they will have a wealth of knowledge at their fingertips. So Guides has a program called Extensions where a guide leader can adjust a badge for a person with a disability or cognitive difference where they come to normal meetings. They also have all age groups starting from 6 right up to 18. Then you can go do your leadership or OLAVs, or then for those who have run a unit or been a guide and are in their later years of life, Trefoil Guild. Trefoil Guild is a wealth of knowledge and an underused resource. We call them our brains trust. So they'll know policies and procedures, what to do. Often they've had children and their children now have children, so they're grandparents. Often they know the history of guiding and scouting in that area, because until the 80s, girls did guides, boys did scouts. It was how it was. And guys, talking to people is your best source of knowledge. So if you're shy or a person of the digital age, getting those communication skills up is critical. So LinkedIn, Allison, Course, Aura, Peterson Academy, TAFE, your private colleges, blogs like my own. Absolutely amazing place. Other disabled YouTubers, other disabled content creators, all an amazing place. Your support coordinators as well. Guys, and find some bibliographies of, or biographies or autobiographies of the trailblazers in disability rights. So Stella Young, Helen Keller, if you Emily Ward, who started New Orleans Nunnian College, Lady Salento, Lady Gowrie, Lady Baden-Powell, Olive Baden-Powell, all people who have changed the game around disability. Some of the words they'll use are dated, but guys, there's no trigger warnings in real life, and people with a disability have to put up with slurs, being abused, being neglected all the time. And guys, I'm also going to do a video about my respite experiences, because guys, while it was great to have a holiday, it was also a bit of a wake-up call of how much entitlement had crept into my life. And guys, now that I've realised that I wasn't entitled in the I'm going to ask for space, I'm entitled in this is what the world owes me style, that's not great for anyone. So guys, I'm seeing a lot of TikTokers who are not aware that they are being offensive, who are mobility aid users, who are talking about that people should get out of their way because they're a wheelchair user. Okay, yes, I understand you're trying to educate, but the way that you're trying to educate, it's just going to alienate people. Wonders why you've got trolls in the comments? Flip it to, okay, well, how about if disability was the norm and you had to wait because you're able-bodied for half an hour for an elevator or a stair lift, or places that say they're completely step-free but aren't, but they're step-free when they get in. Their entrances aren't step-free. Guys, there's some who are snarky in some videos, but they use that snark as education. But this content creator I found to be genuinely entitled and offensive of, oh, able-bodied people should just get out of the lift. I should be able to ride the elevator by myself because I'm in an electric wheelchair. Yes, people aren't disability educated and rude. And she was talking about her experiences of being in a manual wheelchair, of getting moved. And guys, a manual wheelchair is an extension of someone. Don't move their mobility aid. It is an extension of them. It's simply like we're taught in Australia not to pat the service dogs. And guys, side note for my American and British viewers in Australia, our service dogs have to be registered and trained. Places are allowed to ask more than 3 questions. There has to be documentation, and emotional support animals do not have the same rights as service dogs in Australia. People with service dogs and medical alert dogs still have troubles and issues, but we don't have the issues that America does have of denying service to legitimate animals, because we're generally educated about it and there's stricter rules as well. Self-training is becoming a little bit more common, but they have to be certified and accredited by a accredited organisation as well. But guys, this is the thing that I keep saying, that people with a disability can be the arsehole. We can be the ones causing support workers and nurses, caregivers, trauma as well. So your attitude, whether you're disabled, cognitively disabled, general physical disability, determines your altitude. So if you're willing to wait and ask nicely, people are more likely to get out of the elevator so you can use it with your wheelchair. But like anyone else, you have got to allow that time for people who are in a hurry, people who are meeting deadlines as well. And this is what blows my mind, and that I had this revelation of, especially when you get given a support worker one-on-one and it's all about you, you get very entitled and used to them doing something for you, it not being a problem, them being very permissive because it's literally their job. But you need to remember that that's not everyday life. And just because you're pissed off that people aren't wheelchair educated and the world isn't going your way, well, maybe you're the problem. And that's a hard thing for people with a disability to hear, but it's something that I think some of them need to hear. So guys, if you've made it all the way to the end, thank you. And as I said at the middle of the video, if you can like, share, subscribe, really amazingly does help. Let's help me to get to 1,000 viewers by Christmas. I realised I was streaming too small with 100. Let's make it 1,000, guys. And guys, yeah, my laptop needs to go and visit the tech store. Maybe I need to not record or edit when I'm overtired as well. But do have a support worker coming on board as an editor. It's just been logistics of privacy. Can she be on camera? She can't be in the house. So working all of that out as well. So guys, I'll see you guys in the next video as well. And guys, some of the content that I've queued was recorded before respite as well. So you'll notice a difference in the attitude of pre-respite Andrea and post-respite Andrea as well. So guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.